They landed somewhere in the Middle East, and then things became strange. They landed in the Middle East and, in a relatively short time, were treated as the absolute gods of the area. In contact with the earthly people of that time, they taught their knowledge of the various cultures that existed at the time, sometimes for the benefit of the locals and sometimes for their own benefit. Each earthly civilization that was introduced to them offered them their own way of life, habits, and customs, and an exchange of knowledge took place. There were many who disagreed with all this, but they were individuals. Foreigners who came from elsewhere contributed to the construction of megalithic and monolithic structures and temples. Those who came from heaven to earth brought with them their own knowledge of mathematics, astronomy, medicine, metallurgy, writing, music, poetry, agriculture, animal husbandry, engineering, public administration, and government. They mingled with the knowledge of the native earthlings, and there was a huge rise of humanity which took place overnight, quote unquote, as you would say today, as the population of humanity grew and spread even further throughout the planet. Kindly support my Patreon account since YouTube has again demonetized my YouTube channel. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below. The supreme lords of these beings from the stars left behind the descendants who appointed them as leaders or kings in various regions and continents of the earth, or even gods, quote unquote. Many of the characteristics of the ancient visitors, their equipment, their technology, were passed on to the arts, customs, and rituals of those earthlings, but they adapted them to their own cultures. The quote unquote gods, the kings, the descendants of the heavens, who ruled the people, began to see themselves as gods and thought it would be a good idea to worship them as such. Then at some point they decided to mingle and reproduce with the earthlings, and the male visitors came in contact with the daughters of men. In fact, that until then was forbidden. And this is, of course, referring to Genesis 6, the first book of the Old Testament. This period, however, was an unfortunate moment for everyone. On the one hand, it was decided to start new trips to other planets. On the other hand, new visitors came with not very good intentions or moods. There was a panic, a type of a conflict, a flood, everything changed. Some left and traveled to other worlds, and some stayed. The events are described in different, but at the same time similar ways in the mythologies of the natives who arrived with many shortcomings in the present. The first ancient astronauts to arrive on Earth were given much later names such as tall whites, Norwegian gods, Olympian gods, Anunnaki, Nephilim, Pleiades, Lyri, Sirius, Andromedans, and many more names. We know that they've even been referred to in the Emerald Tablets by Thoth the Atlantean as coming from extraterrestrial locations. Things have been very confused since then. The place of landing varies depending on the origin of the delivery. It was said that man was created, that he was used as a slave, that he was set free, that he was exalted, that he was expelled, that he was betrayed, that those who left would return again. I've translated this for you from a Greek article. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support.